Hey, good people. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I'm your girl, Keena. So here's a quick recap of Tyler Perry's Sisters. This week's episode was called We Know Enough. This is season 4, episode 15. So on this episode, we start out with Zach. He's made it to the law firm looking for Fatima. He's called Fatima numerous times. He's texted Fatima and no response. So he's made it to her job, which is the law firm with Andy. And when he comes in to the office, he questions Andy about where Fatima is. And Andy's telling her, trying to tell him that she'll let him know later or whatever. And then Hayden comes out of nowhere. That little squirm, that jerk. He comes and he lets Zach know that Fatima is locked up, that Fatima is in jail. And Hayden is a fool. He's calling Fatima bitches and just going off, running his mouth. And what happens? Zach whips, or is it whoop? He tear his ass up. Zach really tears into Hayden. He's up and down the stairs. I thought he was going to kill him. I really did. I was like, okay, Tyler Perry, is this where you're going to take this? Oh my goodness. But even with Zach beating up on Hayden, and all those people in the law firm are coming out of their offices to see what's going on because he was beating him. And with all that going on, that little fool Hayden, he still wouldn't shut up. He still was running his mouth. Oh my goodness. So the security had to come because they definitely were not listening to Andy with all her telling them, stop, no, no, Zach, no, no. Security comes. And of course, they have to pull Zach off for Hayden. And they even have a hard time trying to hold Zach back. And so Hayden's like, yeah, you going to jail too. You're going to get locked up just like your bitch, blah, blah, blah. So in the midst of all of that commotion, Miss Karen walks in. Yeah, Karen, she's made it over to the office to see Andy. And when she gets there, she sees Zach is there. And all the commotion with Zach and Hayden. And so Karen's wondering what's the commotion about. The police come and they take Zach off. Annie takes Karen to her office and she lets her know, yeah, Zach was here. Zach was whooping Hayden's ass about Fatima because Hayden had Fatima arrested. So, of course, I mean, this is just letting Karen know that, yeah, Zach has moved on. And Andy even said it. Zach has moved on. Zach is Fatima's man. He was here defending his woman. And Karen, you witnessed that. So Karen, she shares with Andy that she don't know who the baby is. She went to the doctor. The doctor confirmed that she is pregnant, and she confirmed the conceive date time frame. They can't tell you exactly whatever, but close enough. So she knows from the information she got from the doctor. She don't know who the damn daddy is. She don't know if it's Aaron baby or Zach's baby. She was hoping it was Zach's baby because she really loves Zach, and she said she knows Zach, but now she don't know which of the guys it's for. And so Andy reassures her that everything is going to work out, that even if it does turn out to be Aaron's baby, that Aaron seems to be a good guy and all that stuff. And then besides the guys, she have her girls, like they have their sisterhood, and they're going to help her with the baby, and there's nothing for her to worry about. So Karen leaves, and as she's leaving, she takes out her phone and she calls Aaron to come over. And then later on, we see them having to sit down, and she pretty much she tells him point blank period she don't know who the baby's for, and that she don't want the baby to be for him because she don't know him. So she's pretty straightforward with him, but he keeps reassuring her that he's there for her and for the baby and all that stuff. So later on, we see our girl Danny. She's at her place, and she gets a call from Preston, who's at the door, and he's supposedly there for his box of things that he left there. And Danny, she's already boxed up his stuff. It's one little box or whatever. But Danny knows now that Preston's been getting dating tips from Zach of all people. And so she's kind of like tickled by that. And so she lets Preston come in and he's supposed to come get his box and they do their little roundabout talking. And she even asks Preston, say, is there anything else you want to say to me? And it seemed as if he was going to really spill out his feelings and they were going to have their moment. But lo and behold, Sabrina walks in because she's made it there to pick Danny up. They all the girls supposed to meet at Andy's or whatever. So once Sabrina walks in, Preston decides just to leave, and so he doesn't get a chance to really talk to Danny, right? So Sabrina and Danny, they decide they're going to stop by the grocery store on their way over to Andy's place. All right, so later on, we see Andy back at the office. I'm skipping Maurice's part because I really don't understand Maurice and Q and Kevin's storylines. So I'm not interested in them at all, right? The Tyler Perry need to work on their storyline. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, for this particular episode, later on we see Andy still at the office and the head honcho guy. I can't recall his name. He's made it there. He's like one of the big bosses. He's made it to the firm. Andy fills him in about everything that's going on with Fatima, about her being arrested, about the situation with Hayden, and how Fatima's not giving a bail because of the judge or whatever. And so he said that he can work it out and that she can go pick up Fatima, right? He's a big man. We got big things popping. He can make big things happen. So she also mentions to him about what happened at the firm as far as the fight that had just occurred a couple of hours before he got there. And she explains that it was Hayden and Zach, the whole situation, and that Zach is also in jail. And he's like, oh, so you need Zach to get out too. And she was like, yes, but it's kind of hard with him because he has a record. So he was like, well, he can probably do it, but it's gonna take a little work since Zach has a record. And so she promises him that, she's gonna take care of him later, whatever that means. Oh my God, girl, the things you do for your friends. Huh? So of course, that little squirm, Hayden, with him, he knows that the guy is there talking to Andy, so he gets on his phone, that little rat, and he calls Gary, and because of course Gary has Hayden keeping tabs on Fatima. So we're learning this, right? Like they've been in cahoots together this whole time. So Hayden calls Gary to let Gary know that the guy is there, that he's in town, the guy's from London, and that he's there for Andy, and that he also has been behind Fatima. That was so funny that he mentioned Fatima. Like Hayden is so obsessed with Fatima, just like Gary is obsessed with Andy, but I think Hayden may be worse. Like, oh my goodness. Gosh, at least Andy does give Gary attention. Fatima's not trying to give Hayden any attention at all. Like, dude, fall back. Find somebody else. And so him and Gary are on the call and they're just trying to figure out why the guy is coming from London. And then Hayden's like, he's probably spending his clients money. I was like, okay, Tyler Perry, you pulling some stuff out like from the Housewives when the attorney was spending up this client's money and stuff. That's smart. So Gary wants Hayden to dig into it more. They're trying to get dirt on the guy. And then Hayden is still trying to take Zach down. He don't think that Zach was lucky with the stock and got all the money that he has now, and that Zach must have did something shady. So he wants Gary's guy. I can't remember his name. I'm not good with names. I'm supposed to be working anyway. But anyway, I'm on a break. But he wants Gary team to continue to dig on Zach to see what they can find out, because he just don't believe that Zach came across that money just by investing in stock. When are they going to give up? Move on to something else? I don't know. So then later on, we see Danny and Sabrina. They stop by the grocery store. And while they're in the grocery store, they have these two African ladies that's walking behind them. And they're like giggling, looking at their cell phone, looking at Sabrina and all that. And so Danny's like, why are these bitches following us? So they stop in their tracks. And Danny asks them what's going on. And they asked if they could take a picture with Sabrina. And so they was like, why? What's up? And then so they show Sabrina on the phone that over in their country, there's a news article about maybe the prince has found his wife, and it's a picture of the prince and Sabrina. And the prince is the guy Baidu that she's been dating. So Baidu is the prince. So that's how it goes off. So now we have to see if she's gonna let the prince continue to pursue her, or if she's gonna pursue him. How things gonna shape out. Interesting. And what's oh, and then we also see Fatima, not Fatima. We see Andy. She goes to the jail, and Fatima does get out, and then Andy lets Fatima know about what happened with Zach and Hayden, and of course, Fatima wants to see Zach before she leaves the jail. So they're still at the jail. Fatima's out. She's going to see Zach. So we may see their interaction on the next episode. So that was Tyler Perry, season 4, episode 15. We Know Enough was the title of the episode. Thank you guys so much for checking out my channel. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I am still tuned in and interested to see what more is to come. All right, so I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe if you have not subscribed, like, and you can always leave a comment. Let me know if this is something you watch and your thoughts on it. All right, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.